Now that we know how to create a beautiful app with all the routing options, now just one more minute where we will remove whatever is unnecessary. So you can see we have our routing and we have the products being listed. Now the product list could not come from the local list, right? It needs to come from some other source, which would be typically an API call. Now, this is our front-end application. Now, the back-end should provide us with this data. And when we hit the new product here, it should go and get stored somewhere persistent. Because when I refresh this app, you can see that my products just go away. That could not be the case, right? So I need to put this somewhere that is persistent. Now, that would be a call to the API. Now, this is an API that's up and running. And I have executed this API to view the product details. It's similar to the product details that we have right here. So it's just going to be the product ID, name, price, and quantity, which is typically what we have done right here as well. Now, what we are going to do is instead of bringing the product from the local collection, we are going to fetch it from this API. So typically we're going to see how to make the API call. That's going to be what we're going to see right now. For that, we're going to create a variable. Let's call that get products. It's going to be a method. There we go. Now this method, I'm going to call the fetch. To the fetch, I need to provide an URL. The URL is going to be this one. So I am saying go and call this URL. But I need to provide other details into this as well. What would those be? First would be the method. It is going to be a get. We are calling the get. Just a briefing, it could be a get, put, post, or delete. Now we can see get, post, put, delete, and another get. Now we are using the get method. So that's why we are mapping right here. And also we could add headers. So to the headers is again an JSON object. You say accept is going to be text / plain, or we could say it depends on the content negotiation what we have. So we'll say content type. What is our content type? Our content type is going to be application /JSON. So that's what we require. That is our header right there. Now we do not have a body for our GET request. So we do not have to include that. So that means that we have typically done with the fetch method. We don't have anything else. We are done with the fetch method. Now let's go ahead and close the fetch method. So that's the closure of the fetch method. We are going to say once it is done, that means then, since it's a promise, we're saying then. It's going to be async. So we're going to say async, and then whatever data falls from, returns from there. What we are going to do is first check if the data is having a status that is 200, which means it's a success status code. If it is so, typically we are going to convert the data. For that, I'm going to say where products is equal to wait data.json. So it's going to just convert the data and provide it here. Now let's go ahead and console log it to check if it is working. All right, now when do we want this to be called? We want this to be called the moment this page is being called or whatever it is. So instead, as of now, we would just call it on a method, on a button click. So we will have a button. We will call the class name. I say on click is equal to. Our method name is get products. So that's what we will call, say, get products. Now that should get the product from the database to our console. So let's keep the console open. I did make a mistake somewhere in the menu. Okay, I'll fix that later. So you can see that it fetches the product right here, correct? Cool.